Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. Our first dive into, let's call it a very unique bottle, one that you won't find, but you might be able to make. It's Jack Daniel's A Midsummer's Dram Port Finished Rye. Alright, let that sink in for a second. It's Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye Port Finished. And you might say, Bourbon Bill, Midsummer's Dram, where can I buy it? Where can I buy it? You can't. You can't. So big shout out to Nick Allers for making this at his home and sending it to me. And the awesome job on the label, the bottle, the seal, the gold seal to just exude opulence. It's got a faux cork in it. I mean, just synthetic. He did everything right. Everything right. Except the size. And we want more. We're probably going to want more. We should taste it. We'll taste it tonight. We're probably going to want more. So a Midsummer's Dram. A play on words of a midwinter's dram, which is generally terrible. But we may or may not compare that for you tonight. Stay tuned to find out. So what's the deal? How was this made? We're going to go over the details with you tonight, as well as what the price of a full bottle might entail to your wallet. Nick provided all the details. So pretty sweet, huh? And on release, JD product that Jack Daniel's should release. What the hell is stopping them from doing this? Nothing, except their creativity. So, let's all sit down for this details here. To make this magnificent blend, 3 bottles of a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye from Total Wine. So they're store picks, but Total Wine picked them. So are they really 129.9 proof to be exact? So this is about 130 proof, although it may have lost. I don't know. He didn't measure it. We didn't tell me. I don't think. Whatever. Close enough for government work on the proof. In the 120s, we'll say. 3 of those bottles were dumped into a barrel that he soaked with Graham's 10-year tawny port. 1.5 liters, so 2 bottles of Graham's 10-year tawny port were dumped in the barrel first, soaked it in there for a month. So he soaked that barrel in that Graham's 10-year port for a full month, dumped it out, and then added the 3 bottles of the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, store pick from Total Wine. And then he aged that in the barrel for 2 months before he bottled it up. The Angels took a little bit, all right? So total bottlings, there was 12 total bottles. This is a 100 ml bottle. Now, I think there was a larger bottle that he kept for himself, which why wouldn't he? He made it, right? Him and his wife made it. Why wouldn't he keep the bigger one for himself? Thank you, Nick, for sending a sample to us. We're gracious to try it. And just, would you look at the damn color on that? Look at that. So, you could follow that recipe at home if you so desire. There you go. There's a recipe to do it and the time to do it. Rewind if you want to recap on that. So we figured out what the price of the Graham's tawny port, and, you know, the Total Wine store picks were about $76 hairs a bottle. So this came out to about $133 hairs a bottle, not including the cost of the barrel to buy it, because we're assuming you could amateurize that over many projects. It's a business mind in us here at Bourbon Bill. But anyway, you could do it for cheaper if you just bought shelf Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye, right? You'd save about $10 a bottle, which would knock about $30 hairs or so off the total. And if you use a cheaper port, I guess you could find a cheaper port. I don't know. I'm not a port guy. I got no idea. I like my ryes finished in ports, but I got no idea actual bottles of port, what's going on in that market. So without further ado, God damn, look at that. That's like Coy Hill dark in terms of color. It's just as red as that Coy Hill was. Let's give it a nosing. Holy God, does that smell good. Nick, yeah, I did yourself. God, it's so like just red fruit port heavy on the nose with like rye spice. And like you can smell the Jack Daniel. There's like a hint of banana on the back. It's like bananas and fruits, red fruits. Banana cocktail, fruit cocktail, I guess. This smells like grandma's house from like the 80s. You know, they got like, they're drinking their fine ports and their grandpa's, well, grandma's drinking a fine port, grandpa's drinking a good old Jack Daniel's 80, and they're serving you a bowl of fruit cocktail. You know, it's all here. This smells very deep, rich, and delicious. Okay, it's a very mature smelling blend. All right, down the hatch. Oh, is that good? Oh, that's good. Oh man, very thick mouth coating. You get like the port, red fruit, bananas up front, a lot of rye spice. There's almost like a fudgy caramel thing going on too on the back end. It's very good. It's not the most cohesive blend, I will say. There is a separation of flavors. I don't know if time would have mattered to that, or larger barrel perhaps. I don't know, but it's very, God, that's good. You know, if Jack Daniels put their mind to it and did something like that, look out. Look out. That'd be phenomenal. And this is very good. This would receive an A+ rating from Bourbon Bill at a price of, let's say, $130 a bottle. I would buy it. I would buy it for $130 a bottle, for a full-size bottle. Damn, that's good. That is good. Didn't lose a lot in proof, I'll tell you that. It's spicy. All right, now, how do we compare that to just a regular store pick Jack Daniel's single barrel proof? This one's from Bourbon Street Wine and Spirits in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. This one's 133.2 proof, compute, 66.60% alcohol by volume. Already poured it up here. Notice our color difference. She just ain't as dark, you know. Now obviously this isn't finished. I forget the age on this. I filmed a review of this a while ago. I really dig this store pick. The store picks I feel like are better and come close. Some of the store picks will beat or come close to the 2020 JD special release barrel proof rye they did a long time ago, 4 years ago to be exact at this point. All right, on the nose. Man. Bananas, caramel, rye spice. You know what's funny? The port flavor is strong on his blend. It does cover up a lot of the rye spice notes, but it does have rye spice at the end on the port. But man, you can tell that this is, you know, unfinished JD. All right, down the hatch. Oh, God. Golly, that's good. There's so much caramel, banana, rye spice, like char on that Bourbon Street pick. Now, it's tough to compare them because that's a pick, this is a pick. I mean, and obviously they vary in flavor profiles, but I really dig the unfinished. Just, I love the port addition though of this blend here. Gosh, that's tough. The port makes it feel more mature. Not that JD barrel proof rye ever tastes youthful. It really doesn't. And these picks being like 7 years old, they're not really youthful rye. They don't taste youthful, don't get me wrong. But the port tames some of the heat, number one. Number two, makes it feel deeper and more mature. That's a positive. Now, I prefer there's a delicious, great banana flavor on the Bourbon Street that's not present on this port. There's banana in there, but it's not quite to that level as this one. So I don't know if the port overpowered it or that pick from Total Wine likely didn't have as good of a barrel pick. But this could be phenomenal. So I'm going to give the edge to the port. I think there's a little bit more depth of flavors going on there. And I dig it. Rye finish is better than bourbon. And I said it, and that's the truth. So there you go. Now, for those of you just wanting to know, there it is, a Midwinter Night's Dram, third of a bottle that it is. This is Act 10, Scene 1. Last year's was actually Act 11, so 2024 should be Act 12. So this is 2 years ago. Look, 10, unfortunately, was like the low point for Midwinters. Last year was better, still not remarkably close to worth 150 doll hairs. A High West can go kick rocks for that pricing, but alas, it is a port finished rye. Proof is 98.6, so quite a bit lower than our JD Midsummer's Dram here. And the color really shows. Really shows. It's not that dark. You know, it's not light, but it's not that dark for the actual Midwinters from High West. Alright, on the nose for the High West Midwinter Notch Dram, Act 10, 2 years ago. Sorry, I have a sample, probably the 11, but you know what? I'm saving that if someone sends me the 12 from this year, because you know what? I'm not buying it. Midwinters has been a not buy now for like 4 years. So I'm not buying it. Please, though, someone send me the Act 12 from 2024, because I do want to do a review of it. But, you know, it is what it is. My brother-in-law has just hated this bottle of 10, and he finally gave it up. And he's a cheap bastard for him to give this up. Okay, that's how bad it is. So we're not going to like it, but for those that do, we'll do the comparison for you. I'll suffer through it for you. On the nose. You know, it's got a bright cherry, you know, port note to it, but also youth. Youth, all like a grassy youth shines through on the nose, down the hatch. It's just so outclassed. So out. I mean, gosh. I paid maybe about $40 hairs for that bottle. Being lower proof, right? The finish is like mega short. It doesn't carry the depth of flavors that this Midsummer Night's Dram carries here. So much better. I mean, my God, we're talking worth $130 hairs to worth like 40. Okay, so if you like this though, ain't no reason why you wouldn't like this better. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Again, you're still getting the flavors of the port, right? You're getting more rye spice here. Obviously, a higher proof on the JD. Unless you went and used like 94 proof JD rye single barrels, you could do that. You could do that. So I'm gonna say the Midwinters is just easily beaten and not worth the money. But we already knew that. So, Nick, your blend wins there. And now for one final comparison just for you, because you knew if you watch this channel, I couldn't not. It's time for my favorite port finish rye of all time to make an entrance. Sagamore Port Finish Rye. Now we have a competition on our hands. Okay, this is 6-year-old MGP rye finished for, what's that? 3 years in a Bordy Vineyards port barrel. 3 years. Okay, ain't no months. Come on, Nick. We ain't talking months, we're talking years. Now, Nick had a small barrel, so that 2 months or so probably does equate to years. This one knows 103 proof, compute 51.5% alcohol by volume. So proof-wise, oh, we got a gap. We got a gap between this and the Midsummers right here. There's a gap. Color-wise, though, let's take a look. Here's the Sagamore Port. Oh, God, is that dark. Oh, I think the Sagamore is a little darker than the Jack Daniel's Midsummers. I think it is. 3 years is hard to compete with, even if the barrel size is larger. All right, on the nose, the Sagamore Port. This is batch 3, by the way, from 2023. Golly, does that smell good. Oh, man, instantly the winner on the nose. Instantly. Nose easily goes to the Sagamore. All right, the Sagamore Port down the hatch. I am so lucky to be drinking these. Oh, my God. God, good. Oh, okay, that's delicious. There's so much red fruit, chocolate, caramel. There's even like a little bit of tobacco on the end of the Sagamore. It's so cohesively melded together with the rye that it is nigh unstoppable in terms of what it delivers as an experience. It's very silky smooth, but also luscious and viscous. All right, the Jack Daniel's Midsummer's Dram down the hatch. Sagamore wins. $100 hairs a bottle, so a little bit less than what it cost Nick to make the JD, but a little bit different animals. This was only available in Maryland. This is available to all with the ambition to make it. So the Sagamore Winds is just more complex. It really is more complex. Although the proof's a lot less, you get just as much on the palate in terms of flavor and more complexity. So Sagamore Winds. But this here, though, easily beats this. This is garbage compared to this. So if you're a guy that looks forward to Midwinter Night's Dram, and who knows what the price is going to be for 2024, right? We don't know. Okay, last year was $150 here. With inflation, could it be more? Gosh, I hope not. You're better off on your wallet making this than you are making or buying a bottle of Midwinter Night's Dram. Okay, you are. So thank you again, Nick, for the sample. This is killer good. I really dig this. I might go invest in a barrel and see what the local fine wine and good spirits has in terms of ports and shelf as a JD barrel proof rye and make myself one of these, and I may let it sit for a year. For a year. I want it to be black as tar when it comes out of that barrel. So if you like what we saw tonight, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Have a good evening, everybody.